Um, and welcome to the Essentials group Wednesday evening. We're a small but hearty group tonight. TZ, I know you're way up past your bedtime. I'm gonna scoot down and find yours first. That way, if you nod off, you haven't missed yours. All right.
Thank you.
Let's get on down here. And there's that.
Uh, just pass it.
This is it here.
No, no, no. Up, up, up. Yep, that's one.
Ah, all right.
I
Well,
know you asked for 3 shots.
yeah. Actually, there was some miscommunication, and then I saw everybody was doing 3 shots, so I left it out.
Okay.
Actually, I was only asking. Oh, I was only thinking you guys are going to put one shot in that window, but somewhere along the cut and paste route, I forgot to change it. But I saw everybody was doing a great job, so you're just fine. One shot's just fine. Let me ask you a little bit. What are you using for this spray light back here?
Oh, it's flash with
Oh,
yellow gel.
okay, are you using a Stofan or any kind of diffuser on it?
No, no, just the gel itself.
Okay. What you want to do, the shape of the flash, you can actually see the square here. See it?
Yes,
It's not perfectly round. So one of the things you can do is, those little, I call them Stofans, but that's a
yes,
brand.
yes. I
Yep.
have those.
Yep. Put that on and then put the gel over the Stofan.
Oh, okay.
And what that
Nice.
does is it turns the square shape flash that you have, the head, just turns it into just a light. And what you'll end up with more of a circle of a globe looking light back there, than and not get those edges. The tighter you get that light into the back wall to choke it off like that, the more we're going to see those edges. And the same
Mm.
thing up here. I would have brought that backlight down so we just got a little bit of yellow over the top of this thing. Do you see that?
Yes, yes, I do.
Because this does not go into the
Just
top of this unit, but up here
yes,
it just
just
goes
like
beyond it.
yeah.
Go ahead.
You're talking about the having just a little glare um, around the object,
Yeah,
just like what
the
happens in the lower picture.
yeah. In this one, I would have brought it down so that the area of the yellow would have been like this, okay,
Okay.
and not quite as bright. Well, brightness, I'll leave the brightness because brightness that's a selective choice. I wouldn't have made it quite this bright, but that's okay. And then up here, lowering it quite a bit, so we got just kind of a bit of that yellow coming up here. Choke it in a little bit tighter, because stylistically, you don't want the background to look like it's static. So it has to kind of, since it would come up right about here and not get the top of this unit, then the same thing should happen here, right into this a little bit like that. The light on your waffle maker looks great. I'm making waffles, and I like the
It's
the
not a
little.
waffle maker.
What's that?
It's not a waffle maker.
Well, it should be a waffle maker. TZ, dang it!
we, we don't have those around here.
I
We
was
like
I
those
was really going
big,
to ask you
cheesy
what
toast.
what the what waffles are like in Portugal, but what
Yes,
is that?
we have those, but um, usually at home we have toasters, and this is a toaster.
Oh, okay, all right, that's pretty cool. I like the form of that. We have uh, my wife always buys the toasters with the two slots at the top, and I hate those things. I always want to try something different. That's very cool. And your little blue kicker light is great. That's pure genius. Absolutely great. What a great idea. It's so cool. It just it just fills up this. We got a little bit of it back on the back here to keep that stylistically together. Love that. Love that blue. It just makes the metal seem so much more steely, metallic, even though it's
Yes.
nothing to do with it. Great idea.
So
We got
I use a lot of blue gels when I'm shooting steel molds for plastic injection,
hmm
and I really like the effect, and my clients like it too, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it does add a really nice little pop to it. I like your surface here. My suggestion would be on this top one would have been to
Yes.
take this. If I was art directing, standing over your shoulder, I would have had you push this back so that the horizon line came in just below the
Y-
the top lid part,
Yes. Yes.
and
Okay.
that would have given it just a little bit more power to the height of it, size wise.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with this. I think I would have moved this back to bring that horizon line right in with this dial here.
Okay.
So I would see, in other words, I would see less of the surface and more of the unit.
Okay.
But yeah, stylistically, very good. Good job.
Thank you.
Very good. And we brought Lily is in. Hello, Lily. I'm unmuting you as usual. Let's go find Thad's thing. He's in Maine, so it's late out there in Maine too. There we go. All right, Thad. This is that really hot light back there is pretty cool. How did you do that?
I had a flash with a snoot on it and a orange gel. I think it was orange. It
hmm
looks kind of pink though, doesn't it?
Well, it's probably blowing out. The exposure's blowing out. That's what's making it
Mm-hmm.
pinkish. Yeah. Cool.
I shot this in a light tent. Uh, Flash on either side of the light tent.
Uh huh. Okay.
I kind of, I was kind of disappointed with it when I got all three together because when I looked at each shot by itself, they look really great. But when you put the three together, I don't know, it seemed to lose its punch.
Well, that can happen. And that's why it's kind of cool that you guys did this. Now, one of the things that I noticed is that we have that really bright light in the back, but we let
Mm-hmm.
the light on the box fall off too much. That I take it that's a very light colored box. Is it
Yes.
white or off white?
Yeah, yeah, white.
Okay, if it's white, it doesn't look white.
Mm-hmm.
It's reading out as kind of a gray here. So we need to bring that box up, even if what you have to do is to isolate the box in Photoshop or whatever you're using, isolate the box and then just bring the box up a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
think when you do that on these three boxes, you're going to like the shot better. One of the things that's pulling your shot down is the fact that the boxes look dull.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when you put all three of the dull gray boxes next to each other, that's a problem. Now, interestingly enough, the little pink guys here, that doesn't look all that bad.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look underexposed to me. So I think I would probably just make a selection on this front of this boxes and get them all up into the same range, the same
Mm-hmm.
area. I think that might work
Yeah,
out
it's
pretty
pretty
well.
obvious now that you say that.
Yep. Yep, and what's making them even look more dull is this really bright light back here, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to be really careful. I love the backlight. That's kind of cool how you use it for all three of these. I do think I would have kept it the same size for all three because it's small here,
Mm-hmm.
kind of big, and pretty much the same size the top two. Probably would have tried to shoot if I'm going to use that kind of dramatic element. Try to
Uh-huh.
keep it at fairly close size wise because this bottle of this doesn't look like it's all that much different size than this, even
Mm-hmm.
though it may be maybe a larger package. When you're shooting catalog, one of the things that I do, what I have done in the past, and what I do is I find a size a medium size object, and I'll take the largest and the smallest, put them out there with the medium, and I'll find the happy medium for my lens length so that I don't move my lens in and out for products
Mm-hmm.
like this. I'd rather shoot it, especially if you I don't know if you what camera you're shooting on, but if you're shooting on one that's got a lot of megapixels, who cares? You know,
Yep.
this you could shoot this on a Rebel and have probably at least 2/3 of it not be used. And that keeps everything in relationship. So when they pull the images up in relationship to each other, they're all the right size. What they decide to do with it later, that's up to them.
Yep.
But I don't want them to have to make them bigger and smaller. Just more work on their end that they don't need to do. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Try lightening those up and see what it looks like.
Okay.
Good job.
Don,
Yes, sir.
does that technique avoids having a teaspoon looking the same size of a regular spoon?
Uh, yeah, exactly. Because if you don't have to move the camera, everything's going to be the right size in relationship to the other items um, that they need to be. And if it's truly a what I call a catalog, like this type of catalog, that's how I like to give them the pictures. I don't want to crop them in, so then they're having to figure out how much to pull this one back so it's in relationship, like you say, a teaspoon and a
Exactly.
tablespoon. So you shoot them both and you fill the frame with both. Now the client has to figure out how to make the teaspoon smaller, how much percentage, right? Or even worse, you do. That really sucks.
Well,
And then
it
and
happened to me in the past when I made a catalog for a plastic injection company,
uh-huh.
and I had to find a way to resolve that issue. And I really closed the frame into the both the spoons, but I shot them apart. So in the end, I couldn't tell which one was the teaspoon and which one was the tablespoon.
Yep, yep. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. That'll save you next time, huh?
I hope so.
F11, I'm unmuting you, so mute yourself, please. We'll get back up to the top here. And we'll get going right from the top because we got TZ taken care of. He's over in Portugal, folks. So got a couple of late starters here. Welcome, everybody. Take a look at Nicholas Bosshart here. Nicholas, welcome to the program here. Let's take a look uh, at the shots. Now, um, this is that color gray that makes me think that the photographer wanted white but didn't get white. It's too bright for gray and it's too dull for white. We need to bring this up to white, I believe. That'll help a little bit bring up some of this texture in here because these look a little underexposed and we're missing this texture in here. Your bright hot light coming down the side here is pretty cool. It does add some nice drama to it, but I think for the overall exposure, it's too bright. So we're losing detail. It's also a real small light, as you can tell with this little specular here, and I'd like to see it be a bigger light so we don't end up with a round specular, but more of a squared off specular on here so we can see the texture of this wood. We know it's wood, we can see it down here. And again, the highlight's so small. What I would tell you to do, sir, uh, Nicholas, tell you to do is to use a soft box or a scrim and get it in close and then look at the difference. Take it, put it in, take it out, put it in. Like for instance, in this shot right here, you could have put a scrim or a softbox right about here, that close to it. If it's that close, we're going to get a highlight that runs the entire length of this item instead of right along the front here. Those are the challenges. What looks pretty good is I like your positioning on here. So we get to see the bottom, the top, and we get to see what it looks like. That's very cool. And laying it down to fit the layout, that's a great idea. So a little work to do on those, and we're on to Chris Dean. Wow, Chris, nice work here, sir. Beautiful colors. I'm going to give you the same critique as earlier with TZ. Your horizon's right dead center of this background, and I think, and it goes right through this little area here. This handle is really important. On cookware, you always want to show the handles, just like you've done here. You did very well here, but you brought the horizon in to help fight that, and we don't want to fight that. I would have brought the horizon right down to under the lip of this thing. Then you just move the whole set back under the lip, and that gives it not only a place where it's sitting, context for sure, but then you let the bowl itself go up into the background, and it gives it more shape. This would have more shape to it if it was against the background over here. This shot, real nice. Two front lights may not have been my choice on it, but it doesn't seem to be a problem on this shot either. And again, get the camera down either lower and get rid of this surface, or move the pot back so that the surface comes in right about here, and then we get more pot against the background instead of most of the pot against the surface. It'll make the pot look bigger, and you'll see the graphics of it more. Love the bottom shot, very cool. Even your speculars are very nice. Um, yeah, that works very well. Good in the genre work here. Middle DN. Okay, middle DN. We got the I don't know what those are, but those are small little thingies there. Um, I like this shot here, middle DN, because we've got some nice dark area here and a little dark in the front, and the product itself rises up into that dark area. So it really sets it off, makes it three-dimensional. The middle one here, very within the genre of catalog. Let's show them the product. Let's show them the boxes. Top one here, the vignette doesn't fit the other two. As a matter of fact, I would have rather seen all of them shot like this or like this, not this, but all of them the same way so they had a sense of belonging to each other. Um, that becomes really important when we're shooting catalogs like this. So not bad. Uh, the light on this is great. I love that. It's really kind of fun light. Not bad at all. Use some work, but they can all use some work. We can all use some work. Creatively inspired, and welcome, and you're new. No, you're not too late for the webinar review. I don't know why they felt they were late for the webinar. Um, we have wonderful product here. Um, Real cool. You're using this out of focus background. That's very, very interesting. And I like the fact that you kept it all in one color. And I like the other effect that you have of this serpentine with the background. See, it's like it winds through here. So we have light, light, light. That's pretty cool. Let's get this light up to match that light. We got it. The lighting on the units, not bad, not bad. These little bitty cosmetic things are so tough to shoot with any kind of great cool light. So tough. Sorry about the uh, realities of these little tiny things, but it's exactly what happens. We got to get some white cards in here, and we need to add some sparkle to it somehow. Maybe just a little slice of gridded light or snooted light just coming right across. Good, very good first attempt there, creatively inspired. And sorry that you missed the thing. So jump on, and we have Oakley's photos. All right, Oakley's photos. We've got very dramatic black on black kind of stuff, which is really cool. Espresso machine, which are kind of neatly designed things. Really well done here. Is this another new person here? Oakley's photo. Okay, fantastic. Another new one, and very good job here, Oakley's. Really good job. We kept, you've got this nice little stripe of light going back in the background here. I see it kind of coming in here. Now there's this kind of messy stuff on the edge that I don't understand here, but so down in here, I'd keep the light off the edges if I could, because the eye will always seek it out, wonders what's over there. Keep the light off of that. Your machines look good. You've lit this very well in the back. All the shapes are there. Yep, I have no idea what that is. It must be some sort of measuring cups or something. Very cool. Good job. We need to get some light on the front of this so we can see the front of this box. It looks like there's a grill in here and we're missing it here. I don't want to miss that grill. We want to see it in every product shot. So you might want to get a white card back over here so that it would give this grill something to reflect back to the camera. Angle of incidence, angle of reflection. Blue lace daisy. Cutting knives in colors. I've never seen such a thing. That looks pretty cool. And we're showing the knife as if the client had been on the set, this would have freaked him out. Remember, the design of these things is so important. You don't want to cut off this, and you might not want to cut off these blades so right at the tip. If you blew this up and we're cutting it off right here, so it was like 2/3 or 3/4 of the image is the handles, then you're showing the handles, which I think is what you're doing. This handle and this handle. The one down here in the bottom, much better. Don't cut things off in catalog photography unless it's so obvious that you're cutting it off because you're showing something else. So lighting seems good. A little shadowy in here. I would probably gotten a little more fill if I could. Looks like we're getting some fill here. This one looks a little flat in here. Maybe we had a little bit of kicker light to bring that up. Pretty good. Hanson M. All right, Hanson M. Beautiful work right here, Hanson. This is very stylistic for like young people's makeup and stuff. Magazines. Got the kind of funky highlights and shadows going on in the background. This gives a real glossy, kind of shiny feel to it. Your light seems a little small though, Hanson, in that we're getting this kind of funky little stripe here, and I'd rather get a much bigger, cleaner highlight, or a multiplicity of these little stripes to really make it, super hip and modern, like the background. Like this one. This was kind of cool. You got one on the edge, then you got two, then you got one on this side. So that one actually, that's actually more interesting than this cap. And caps are important. Nicely done. Good angles. All the angles match. Very important. And the single shot, yeah, that works too. I think I like the other one better. And the 3 photos, good. Nice setup. Good job. And F11. All right, so we've got the egg. It's like we got some egg holders and some cool pots here. And that's very stylistically within the genre of catalog, no doubt about it. F11, how you doing? Let's see. Maybe F11 doesn't have a mic. You're unmuted, F11, if you want to jump in. If not, that's okay. We'll get back up here too.
Well, hi, Don. Can you read me?
You're very faint, sir. Very faint.
That's better now?
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just found out my plug broke, so I have no spare plug to change that. Okay.
All
So
right.
I think the level looks good, but I can hear myself not that good.
Yeah, you're good on my end.
Oh, that's nice. Glad to hear.
Okay.
How are you?
Very good.
How's your wife, by the way?
Getting better. She actually drove herself to class tonight. So that's the surgery was, pretty. They had to go in and take the pin out, so it wasn't like a simple surgery. But she's doing much better this time than the first time. She was literally on her back for almost 2 weeks when they put the pin in, and now she's, like I said, she drove herself to class. So yeah, good for her. I think she's just getting so used to the pain. It's just part of her life now. Poor
It's
kid.
Well,
just not there anymore.
I'm hoping this is the last one. I really am. All right. I like your angles. I like the fact that you kept your angles all the same. Really good. Great for catalog. We don't want to have people jerking up and down in their brain for different angles. Very nicely done. Uh, these shots with your little props back here work really well. The question I have about these white or are they slightly off white?
well, I have no idea. I have no idea. Probably they are on the edge of white as far as dishes go. They are
Okay.
not really white.
Okay. I think that we can bring those up just a little bit. And I'm getting a little bit of pink in this one. The pink in this one, I get it because of this. But I'm getting a little bit of warmth up in this one. And it's just, I think you could take those things up about 15% and they would read more as white instead of as an off white. Right now they're almost like a dark eggshell white. You know what I'm saying? And then when I look down at this is obviously white. This value here, we want to get that up into here. So you're really, really close with that. Nicely done. How did you like this?
Uh, if you scroll down a little bit, you can see the BDS.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Well, it was just one softbox.
Okay, so one softbox and lots of flats, right?
Right. But it was literally I built a tent, from
Mm-hmm.
from lots of cards and stuff. And well, I think the shade that pink shade you may notice on the upper shot comes from the top uh, card, which actually is a really worn reflector, which got a little bit pink by time.
Ah,
So maybe you can see that reflection here. You have a
yeah, I
good
can
eye,
see. I can see the reflection here. So yeah, if you got a little bit of you know, got a little bit of color cast to that, can be a problem. I was shooting a couple of years ago, right after I got into this big studio. I was shooting with this old softbox, and I was thinking, boy, I haven't used this in a long time. And I'm shooting, and I'm looking at the pictures, and I'm going, what the hell is my color balance? I think, this is now I'm upset because I'm thinking my 60D was, the color was gone because everything was coming out real warm. And I'm kind of standing there and I'm looking at the set and I fire the strobe and my new light in back is perfectly white and the one coming out of the old softbox is just as orange as you can imagine. It's like, whoa. And what had happened is that the material on the front of the softbox had just gotten old and dingy and it started giving me old, dingy orange light. So I brought it home and bleached it and everything, changed it a little bit, but no, I never got it back to that pure white. So it is now marked almost tungsten.
Well, so you can deal with the color balance by just using the right softbox now.
Yep. So I got the. I mean, I was like going to throw it away, and I thought, well, no, it's kind of warm. It's kind of nice. I'll keep it. I'll just have to remind myself that it's not going to go with the other ones. Good shot there.
Well,
Nice shots.
makes sense. Okay. Have a great evening.
Yep. All right. Who we got? Anybody else come on? Oh my goodness. Nobody else has come on. I wonder what happened. Tammy Bogstrand. Real pretty. Ah, such nice light, Tammy. You do these highlight things so well. Um, nicely done, right within the genre. Angles are cool. Looks good. Looks absolutely fine. I love all your whites match. Thank you so much. That really works out well. Backgrounds, and that's how we did it. Oh man, guys are so creative. Look at this. Got a gorilla pod here. Got a gorilla pod for the flash. Excellent. All right. Yep. TZ, we're fine. We looked at that. All right. So we got Tracy Sutherland. All right, Tracy. Okay. These not very exciting shots, but definitely catalog looking. We have a horizon here, but we don't here, and we don't here. So what I would say is, let's get all of these things to match. This is a white back here than this is. It looks like the lighting's changed on these. Who's this? This is Tracy. Looks like the light changed. When we're doing these kinds of little products, we don't want the light to change. We want the light to stay absolutely like it was, perfect like it was. So, very interesting and how you did it here. Okay. Yeah. Got the scrim in the back and the lights coming through. You blocked it off a little bit. Yep. And that kind of darkens up the front, but it didn't work here. Maybe it's the placement of the items within the frame. This one's back a little bit. This one's up close. And again, this is where you measure. If you can't put a mark on the surface, measure it out. So you put your bottle down, put a little yardstick or ruler here. It's 8 inches from the front. Great. This one needs to be 8 inches from the front as well. And the camera remains locked down in position. Yeah, very good. Oh, much better. Tracy, your second shot, way better. Way better. You can hear the creaking of the doghouse doors opening, letting you back out. There we go. Much better. Very nicely done. Super styling. Nice shot. Good job. And again, awesome that you guys put these shots in here and show folks how you did it. That is so cool. Lily, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty darn good. These are pretty.
Good. Thanks. I hated this assignment, Don. I want you to know I cussed you out a few times.
Stuff's hard to shoot, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, I tore my hair out.
Yep. Now, isn't it a good thing for you guys all to try doing this? And I know on the pro group, they did something similar. On the pro group, we had some people who did it in an hour and a half, 2 hours, but we had a couple of folks that said, geez, I was on this thing for 6 or 8 hours. And I said, yeah, it looks simple. And then when you get in to do it, it's not simple. And you fight it and fight it. That's why you have to watch out for clients coming on and saying, oh yeah, there's just some drop and pop stuff, some catalog stuff. It won't take long. Really? I bet. Now, as you get
Oh yeah.
better at it, things will change and you'll get faster and you'll learn some of the little tricks of the trade and how to like measure it and little things like that. But when you're first starting out, what if you had bid this job, Lily, at $50 a shot?
Oh, forget it. It took me like 3 days to figure out the lighting on just the lipsticks
Yep.
and how to get the lint off. So yeah, I do not like catalog shots. That I've decided I will never do that in weddings.
Oh, there you go. Your shots are very nice. Um, yep. This would just have been an idea would be to add a spray light to the back, just a little bit to bring it up right back there to give it some dimension. But that's
I
pretty
I tried that. I tried that, but I didn't like what it was doing to the lipsticks, so
okay.
I took it out and went with more of a similar background.
Okay. Well, that's nice, and you use the same background for the little brush with the broken stuff. Um, and Lily, I'm sure you knew this, but most of everybody else on here today are all guys. Any of you guys went out to buy makeup, you realize how expensive this stuff is. Um, we had to prop a shot once, just props, just for the freaking props. We had $200 in a bag that you could have put in your purse just for
Wow.
props. This stuff's expensive. But
Yeah.
I guess you girls are worth it. Nicely done, Lily. I'm glad. Did you learn something from it?
I learned a lot. I learned that when you shoot black lipstick cases that are glossy like that,
Yep.
that you're gonna Photoshop out a lot of lint and that you're gonna Photoshop in highlights where they don't show up. Because I tried everything to get the highlights to come out, and it was a pain.
Yeah.
Um,
White cards can be your friend. And remember, if your camera's on a tripod, you can put the white card anywhere in the frame to get your highlight, and just simply move that highlight over to the one without the white card in it in a layer. And
that's what I ended up doing
yeah.
is the lipsticks, the mascara was I had to Photoshop in the highlights from the left-hand side of it to the right because I tried card placement and it's just a pain. It's
Yep.
you have to Photoshop. The easiest one was the last one, but the other two, yeah, it took me hours and hours, and thankfully I'm never gonna do catalog shots again.
Well, the thing about it, you'll probably do at least one more because there's another one coming in
Ah,
September. But it's different. It's not quite the same. Um, but the thing you want to do is always live for always learn something from what you do, and
oh
always
yeah.
always use my very favorite tactic of dealing with these things is if I don't want to do them, I price them really high. And that way,
Oh,
if some fool does want me to do them, I may not enjoy it, but I'm going to make a lot of money at it.
a good
Like
idea, Don.
like weddings, Lily. I am so happy to do a wedding. My wedding started at $10,000.
Oh, excellent. That's a
You know,
great idea.
seriously, they somebody wants a wedding for me for 10 grand. I promise I will bust my butt on that wedding. But
Good idea.
just hasn't been selling real fast lately. So um, see,
Lily,
Yes?
how did you how did you say máscara?
Oh, mascara?
Yes. Say it in Portuguese. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
name.
Well, I'll have you know I'm Hispanic, so everything comes out wrong.
we're right.
Don't worry, my English is not that good as well.
Well, my wife's bringing home some Japalinos tonight.
Japalinos.
Japalinos. We're gonna put them on our tacos.
I picked up that lingo living here, Don. We got
Yeah.
tortillas and jalapenos.
Oh, Japalinos and tortillas. You just can't get enough of those.
No.
All right. All right. So we got some neat bike shots here from J Pod, another newcomer. Fantastic, J Pod. This is pretty interesting. I like how you lit this. There's this little darker area here. It looks to me like it's something on the bike, which is kind of cool because it shades the whole, kind of gives the whole thing a little bit of shading. This is very well lit in here. Good detail on the way it's put together. This is exactly what I was saying. Be careful how you cut stuff off. This handlebar is cut off so obviously that we know that what we're looking at are the speeds, the gear speeds. And the same thing with this. This is a picture of the spring, and we don't need to worry about the cropping. It's showing us exactly what the spring is. Well done, well lit, sir. I would suggest that we get another fill card up under here so that the bottom of this dial doesn't totally die right here. So a little white card under there would have given us something for an edge. So we got a nice light up here to edge it down here. And the same thing on the spring would be something from the back so that this part of the spring right here, this part of the spring right here would be getting something from over here because they just kind of die when we come around this curve here. Just pop up that spring because the spring is, after all, so important. And Damien, no, I didn't make it. Um, Very cool. This is nicely done, Damien. Nice lighting all the way through. The back feeling of the light really works for these kinds of things. Great lighting on this spoon thing that's very hard to do. Um, I think we would. I think if I was art directing the shot, I wouldn't want to lose the sight of this clip. And see how this look at this beautiful highlight at the top come around and just goes black here. I just don't want to lose the sight of this clip. So, white card over here for this clip to angle of incidence, angle of reflection. So the card's right back here. Pick this up. And if it's too bright and it doesn't feel right, then move the card back. The farther back you move, the less bright this exposure will be here. Definitely need to get something on the rim of this because it just feels like it's dying there. So, all right. Very good. Very cool. I wonder if GoToWebinar got screwed up. Because Damien actually checked with me earlier today about the webinar. What was that? Okay. All right. Well, dang it. Bummer. Anyway, any questions? So we're through the this little part of it. It looks pretty good. Any questions from any of you? Tell me about your adventure with shooting this type of product, especially if you haven't done it before. Or not. Nobody's got.
Hey, John, can I ask you something about something unrelated?
Sure. As long as it's
Um,
not food.
I got an invitation through email a couple of days ago from Getty Images.
Mm-hmm.
What's that all about? I mean, I realize it's they're looking at your work and they want to sell it as stock. Is that a good idea or a crappy idea?
Well, it just depends. I don't, when Getty sent the thing to me, I just, deleted it. I'm not interested in Getty. Um, some people do pretty well with it. You just have to look very carefully at the impressive amount of legal bullshit you're going to sign.
Yeah.
If they want to sell my pictures for what I would call regular royalty controlled rates, I would be fine. But it looks to me like, and any of you who have anything else to offer, please do. It looks to me like when you sign with them, they're going to be able to use your images in microstock as well. So now you're getting 30% of a $20 sale, and you got to. For me, you just have to sell a crap load of pictures to do that. For them,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. I mean, since they have the great library, they just need to sell 10,000 shots, a week, right?
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, only sold 2 that week of the 10,000. Only 2 of them were yours. You're not doing so well. They, on the other hand, they're doing real well. They don't really care about you.
Hmm.
And how it affects you. So, but if they chose a lot of pictures from you and you think, well, what the heck? If there are pictures that are just sitting around doing nothing, why not? Why not jump in? I mean, I have a reason I don't like microstock, but I don't
Hmm.
want you to not like microstock just because I don't like it.
Hmm.
Find out what it's about, and if you like the idea, not bad. I've heard that, uh, well, 5 or 6 years ago, there were a couple of big name guys doing extremely well on iStock.
Hmm.
Um, one or two of them were in the $500,000 a year range on iStock. They are no longer there because iStock doesn't do anything to protect exclusivity. So if you're a bird shooter, and you were with, like, sharpshooters back in the day, they were out of Atlanta, sharpshooters. Um, and I was a bird shooter, and I came to sharpshooters with my book. They would go, "Well, your pictures are very similar, to this other guy who shoots birds, and he's been with us a while. So no, we don't want you because you would just simply water him down, right?"
Mm.
The,
Uh-huh.
the the microstock agencies don't care. They've got nothing in the hunt. Excuse me, guys, just for a second. Let my wife in.
I can tell you, I joined um, Getty, and Don's probably going to kill me for that. But the reason I did was because I shoot for myself,
Hmm.
and I don't. I'm really struggling with trying to decide whether or not to make this a business.
Well,
Right now,
you should
I
make it a
don't.
business, Lily.
Huh?
You should make it a business.
Well, I, you know, I've got pros and cons, and right now I have a list of cons that's longer than the pros. And I do shoot on the side for money occasionally, but
Hmm.
it's not something that I want to do on a regular basis right now because I really don't want to get into the business side of it. To me, that's a big headache. But my sister also shoots for Getty, and she takes pictures of her girls, and she's a stay-at-home mom. She does 2 or 3 weddings a year,
Hmm.
and then the rest of the time she shoots for herself, and those are the photos she posts on Getty. Last month she sold one photo for 2 grand.
Well,
These are pictures of her kids. Yeah, it was an exclusive photo. She made two grand out of it. I think she made a total of like 2,300. She's making regularly between $200 and $400 a month with pictures of her kids that she wouldn't do anything else with. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
I mean, it depends on what you want to do. Be selective with the photos that you do upload because it's true, Don is right. Um, if you do join, some of them can end up as micro stock. Some of them can end up just selling a lot, and others
hmm
may sit there and never sell. You get 20% of what they sell it for. That could be 30 cents to, you know, more. So it depends.
if
Hmm.
it's and really, and remember, once you've signed up to have that used as microstock, that image, if it's purchased one time for $1, you can't change the licensing on that. It is now a you know licensed image. It's out there, so it's not exclusive anymore. So the value of that image is set on the first sale, um, which is just.
But you can quit too, though, and they will remove all your photos from their
Oh,
their
absolutely.
website.
Absolutely. But I'm saying
Yeah.
is, let's say you quit and another client came and saw your work and said, "Hey, I'd like to buy that image." You have to let that client know that it's been purchased as a rights released image. So that image is no longer really worth, no client's going to pay a lot of money for it if it could show
Right.
up somewhere else. Yeah. Um, the whole idea of being in business with this stuff is that, whether you just do it on the weekends or, you try to make a full time living out of it. The thing is, you just do it well. You know more, you do it well. So, um, and I think you stand a better shot of doing uh, better work when you understand what you're doing. That's how I see it. So whether you want to quit or something, you know that's different. Quit
Right.
your your daytime job and go off and be a photographer. That gets a little dicey there.
Hmm.
A lot of it depends on your financial situation, on the geography where you happen to be located. Lots of things to consider. Competition in your town. Do you have enough money to compete? Because you're going to have to compete. There's no doubt about it. And then there's other people who basically, don't even think of that stuff and just do it. Sometimes that doesn't work out, and sometimes it works out. You find out that they go, yeah, things suck. I mean, think of this, Lily. What would happen if, God forbid, next Thursday, you lost your job? You'd have to make it work then,
Well,
wouldn't
that could very well be. And then,
you? I mean, just simply,
yeah.
yeah, at that
I
point,
mean, I work at a school,
you
so
just you'd have to make it work. You go, well, this sucks. I got to make this work. Um,
yeah. And I've thought about that too, Don. But right now, I have the choice.
yeah,
Where
well, that's what
what
I'm
gets me
saying.
is that,
Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
But what gets
You weigh it out and you have to make the choice. As long as you have the choice to make, you make the right one. When life throws you a curveball, you just get ready to, run the other way.
true, true. The only reason I haven't gone full-fledged into business is because every time I do have a for pay shoot, I dread that day. It's like, oh, it takes up my time, it takes up my Saturdays, and I don't want to get to the point where I just hate, taking pictures. Right now, I'm enjoying it.
Why don't you shoot for yourself and sell art?
I'm not that good yet for that. But yeah, I've thought about that too. I'm not an artist in that fine arts mode though.
Well,
That
we all watched and were very impressed by a young lady recently on Creative Live, um, who I would say is certainly not a fine artist, but still, makes nice art for people to enjoy and purchase. Um, so you know, you can certainly do that. Fine art. I'm not even sure you could be a fine artist, Lily, because you don't have a degree somewhere, and you haven't taken the all important class of how to talk like an artist. I think that's the last class in your last year. You learn to write the artist statement.
you mean all snotty and stuff?
Really,
Where smart people like all of us read it through, and then we go, what? What? What was that? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Um, it can
really,
that
you need to have a degree in history of art and also buy some black framed glasses.
Yeah, okay. I got the black frame glasses already. What I think I need to practice is putting my nose up in the air, right?
And
okay.
wear a scarf around your neck.
All right,
There you go.
I'm gonna read to you an example of an artist statement. This is a photographer who has pictures of apartment buildings. Okay, that's it. They're pictures of apartment buildings, and this is the artist statement. Auto Monuments examines high rise buildings and skyscrapers as a phenomenon of modern life. Through photography and digital manipulations, the work isolates the city's fragments and reorders them through a constructed vision. Duplicating and stitching one level of a building to another emphasizes the uniformity within the architectural structure and with its inhabitants, transforming a visual experience into a hyper realistic encounter.
Okay, that's just insane.
He's just selling copy, not images.
Yeah, somebody wrote that with a straight face.
That's
So
insane.
that's your fine art world. So, but yeah, I mean,
Every one of those words adds $100,000.
well, I was going to say, and I mean, I can't wait to go see it now. Um, yeah,
Wow.
so
Don, who
anyway,
was that? Who was that young lady you saw in CL or in Creative
Brooke
Live
Shaden.
that
Brooke
I'm gonna look
Shaden.
her up.
Oh, she's really very, very clever photographer, Brooke Shaden. She doesn't work commercially. I'm not even sure she works. I don't think she takes assignments. She just makes photographs. I
Hmm.
was very impressed by that. Her photography is very interesting. It's very, it's you, Lily. It's your stuff. It's Irene. She'll take a picture and put a tree with it, and she creates these amazing things. She doesn't pretend to be a great photographer. She captures images and puts them together in Photoshop, and and she does a fantastic job. But what I loved about it was that she was a pure artist. She didn't
Oh,
have any affect. Brett, you saw the show, didn't you?
Yeah, she was awesome.
She was
And her
wonderful.
explanations on how she did her Photoshop stuff were so simple and direct.
Yep. And
It was amazing.
none of the guru kind of crap that you hear from a lot of people. She just is excited to be a photographer. And she makes photographs first. And it's absolutely a wonderful show. I would
cool.
recommend that one to you, Lily.
Okay, I'll
You
go
got a
look at it.
birthday coming up. Tell your hubby. That one would be one you
Well,
would really enjoy.
my birthday was last Monday, so it's too late for that now.
Well, what about second birthdays?
There you go. It's my birthday week, right?
That's right.
Like second breakfast.
It's like second breakfast. That's right. That happens exactly 2 weeks after the first birthday. Yep, it's a little known tradition in Mexico.
Yeah, there you go.
You'll buy it.
Hey, Don, I do have a question for you if you've got
Yeah,
time.
I do.
Do you think do you think you can talk to us about your one-on-one?
My one-on-one.
Yeah.
What would you like to know?
Well, how do you do these? How much do you charge? And what's your focus?
Okay. Um, I'm reworking what I charge to make it something that people can put together and do. I put the one-on-ones together totally custom for what the person who's hiring me wants to do. With Sheila, we did lighting. Sheila already has her little business going, marketing. She works full time for Oracle, so she's not looking to quit her job and open a studio. Her marketing's through Facebook and stuff, but she wanted to learn lighting, so we spent 2 days doing lighting. Um, uh, Jan Clear from New York just really needed to figure out what he was doing. So we spent 2 days just making plans and going through his book and making photographs. So it's really what you do. I've been charging 1,500 for the 2 days, and that is I'm changing that to be it still be $1,500. But if two photographers want to do it, we can do that together as long as it's not um, um, the real personal thing like Jan did. And we can't get personal with two people. But if it's lighting or marketing and stuff, yeah, we can do the whole thing with two people. So I made it affordable on that.
Are you
Yeah.
doing one-on-one where you come up here or I'd go down there or it's
Um,
over the
the,
phone
the, the
or
1,500 is you come here.
okay.
Yes. If I come to you, it's still 1,500, but I've got to add airfare. So
Okay.
yeah,
Don, you gotta check those prices.
I have to check the prices.
Yes, I live in the other side of the ocean, and our prices are sure different.
Well, let me
Oh,
let me tell you this.
I'm just kidding. Okay,
No,
I'm
let
just
me tell
kidding.
you this, TZ.
Oh,
You buy me a plane ticket to come to Portugal, I'll teach you for free.
it costs the
thanks,
same.
Don.
the plane ticket's 1,500.
Okay,
So
you can sleep in my couch.
well, Mac Philippe's got a couch too. I understand. So I've
No,
decided
it's okay. I,
it.
I, I have three bedrooms, so it's okay.
There you go. I've decided. By the way, a small group on here. I've decided I want to travel more, so I have decided to um, put together a package for people that says, look, for $750 a day, I will come and to your place and teach you. All you do is pay expenses. So if it's $750 and you get me for 2 days, for instance, and 10 people go in to get it, and it costs $800 for airfare and $200 for hotel, $2,500 amongst 10 people is $250, which is way less than most, you know, workshops are out there. I'm looking at a gal who charges $800 a day, and she admits in her video she doesn't know anything about photography. Looking at her work bears that out. So,
But I
I
gotta
don't.
be honest with you,
Yeah.
and I spoke with this superstar photographer agent
Mm-hmm.
uh, a couple of months ago, and he asked me something like 25,000 for a day workshop plus expenses.
Uh,
Okay, I'm
yeah.
not kidding. I'm not kidding. But I don't do that in 2 years of work.
Wow. Don's cheap, and he does put on a good workshop, TZ. So if you can pay for his airfare, you should.
Uh, it's a nice idea. I can bring you over, and why not settle up some workshops for you here?
Well, absolutely, TZ, and I'm all serious with that. I'm going to Colombia. Juan Cadivad took my workshop in West Palm Beach, and shortly after that decided to move to Colombia. So he's down in Colombia, and we're putting the whole thing together. I'm going to be down there a week. He's got two sponsors actually that are paying the airfare and the whole stuff down there, and I'm not charging them much money at all. I'm basically going to come home with like $1,500 in my pocket, but I get to spend a week in Colombia, and
Well,
I'm happy to do that. I mean, I don't put that all over the internet that I'll do that, but I'm happy to do that. Now, would
you
I
wanna
do
you
that?
wanna come back to Peoria, Don?
Well, sure, but I mean, the question is, would I do that to go to Vegas? No. Peoria? Yeah, Peoria was cool. I mean, isn't that weird? I bet you don't get a lot of people go, God, Peoria is cool. I had a blast in Peoria, man. Like you
Oh,
got,
it's beautiful here. I mean, I'm from New Mexico, so Peoria is completely and totally different. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of beauty and stuff you just don't see down there. So yeah,
well,
I agree.
when you picked me up at the airport, I was like sitting there going, God, I love these cornfields, and you're like, really?
So, Don,
Yes.
I gotta think it through, but I'll find a way to see you inside a wetsuit getting some waves over here.
Inside a wetsuit?
Yes,
Do they make
a
them that
surf suit.
big? All right. Well, I'll tell you one thing you'll see me doing. That's sitting there eating some fantastic Portuguese food. And
Oh, you love it. And you learn that jalapenos are actually pimentos.
They're what, TZ?
Pimentos.
Oh, okay.
You call it jalapenos.
uh,
Jalapenos, right.
jalapenos, by the way, remind me of the worst thing I ever did as a human being.
Uh-oh.
The absolute worst thing I ever did as a human
I'm
being.
getting scared.
All right. You guys want to hear this story, right? I'm not proud of it.
Yeah.
Love
Hmm.
And by the way, before I do that, and we're signing off the recording, thank you